to another Engage Finance video. This week we're going to be having a look at tips for first time landlords. Okay, so if you like this sort of content, please drop a like below on this video and subscribe so you don't miss any of our future videos, and it really helps the channel grow and it's massively appreciated. So first time landlords, there's a myth going around that for a first time landlord you need to purchase your first in cash, you need a 50% deposit, you need all these weird and wonderful combinations of things. You need to earn 30 grand a year, you need to have this, you need to have that. It's all wrong, okay? So let's have a look at first time landlords and some of our tips and tricks as to how we can help you and how you can help yourself get the right mortgage product for you. Okay, so let's have a look first of all as to what a first time landlord is. Okay, so pretty self-explanatory. However, the difference between a first time landlord compared to a first time buyer is you must own your residential home. Okay, by must own, I don't mean you must not have no mortgage on there. I just mean you must have a mortgage and own your own residential property. Okay, that's the difference between the first time buyer and the first time landlord. One or quite a few now lenders actually stipulate that you need to have owned that residential property for at least 12 months. Okay, now that's not a must, but some of them now have added that rule in there just to add a slight criteria change, but it's something to bear in mind. Doesn't mean it's not going to be possible, but it's just something to bear in mind. Okay, income. You must earn over 25k. Okay? No, I'm joking. That's a lie. It's one of these things I hear all the time and it's a load of rubbish. Okay? You don't need to earn over 25k a year. Okay? You just need to earn something. Okay? If you've got no income at all, again, doesn't really make it impossible, but it makes it very difficult. You need to earn something. A lot of the lenders now have criteria that is just no minimum income. That's the exact wording. Okay, no minimum income. So as long as you earn some income, then it's possible. Okay. Now, less of a myth, but something to consider is loan to value. Okay, so 75% loan to value is possible. Okay, you can definitely get 75% loan to value. Okay, it's possible. However, with it being your first project, to show that you've got a long-term property strategy, okay, and that you're not looking to gear or stretch your portfolio, that you're looking to grow over the next few years to the absolute max, then I would personally say have a look at 70% loan to value, work towards getting a little bit more deposit, and therefore you're showing to lenders that actually, you know, I'm willing to put more of my money into the deal. Okay, I'm willing to not let it stretch too much. I've taken into account the fluctuation in the property market by that extra 5%, giving everyone a safety net and a little bit more breathing room. Okay, so it really shows that you've got a long-term vision in mind. It also means in the future you've got scope then to pull more out once you've found something else. Okay, so it's not a must, but it's a little bit of advice. Work on 70% loan to value, future plan, less gearing. By gearing I mean if you've got a portfolio worth X amount and you're fully geared at 75% loan to value across them all, or you've even pushed 80% loan to value across some of them, they look at an overall loan to value of the portfolio. And as you start to look at more and more properties, that's something that definitely flags up to lenders to say, you know, this is fully geared out, they haven't got a safety net as such, you know, why have they pushed it too far? Okay, so less gearing, less stress. Also, property price fluctuation. Okay, like all investments, property will go up and down all the time in value. Okay, most of the time, touch wood, property tends to go up in value, capital appreciation. However, it does go up and down. So something to take into account is, if you're looking at 70% loan to value, you know then that this property can drop 30% in value, and you're not going to be stuck in a mortgage that you owe more than the property was worth itself. Okay, that shows to the lenders that actually, you know, you've got a plan in place, but also peace of mind for yourself that you can sleep at night knowing that property could crash and you're still within reason. Okay, another thing to look at, one of the big things at the moment, deposit. Okay, so acceptable deposits, gifted, absolutely no problem at all. This can be from, in fact that's something to touch on, that a lot of the lenders want to see it from family. Okay, there are some that will accept it from close friends, but you need to be able to demonstrate, you know, where that money's come from and, you know, the relationship between the two. Primarily we're looking at family, i.e. mum and dad, grandparents, etc. Okay, and there'll be forms that they need to sign to confirm that it is gifted and they don't want that money back. Okay, that can be gifted into personal names, can be gifted into a limited company. It all depends how you want to structure it. So yeah, that's something to take into account. Savings, they want to see where that's come from. Okay, so usually we'd ask for a few months bank statements showing a build up of the savings. If you've had a lump sum into your savings account, i.e. from a gifted deposit or sale of a car, sale of another house, they'll want to see where that has come from. Okay, so bear that in mind. You might think, oh yeah, I've got these funds in my savings account, I won't tell them where it's come from. Later down the line, they'll want to know where it's come from. Okay, so bear that in mind from the start. And that leads on to loans. One of the big things at the moment is, can you use a bounce back loan as a property deposit? No, you cannot. Okay, from a criteria point of view, lenders aren't accepting it. From a moral point of view, this bounce back loan was not designed to be used as a deposit on a property. Okay, it's just morally wrong. It was there designed to help businesses, not designed for you to get another property. Okay, it can, however, be used for a refurb on a property if you wanted to do that. So if you're a trading businesses that's constantly doing flips and in and out of refurbishments, it can be used to help towards the refurbishment. Okay, but it can't be used as a bounce back, as a deposit for a mortgage. Okay, the other one to look at is angel investors. Again, on a term debt, i.e. a buy-to-let mortgage, most lenders will not accept deposits from angel investors unless they are on the mortgage itself. Okay, if you're looking to do a bridge or a development, i.e. renovate a property and then look to pour more money out to clear the angel investor once it's completed, that is absolutely fine. Okay, bridging is a very different criteria to a term debt mortgage. This is term debt, and they won't like angel investors unless they can see them on the mortgage application itself. Okay, and then one of the tips to think about to cover off sort of this criteria is look to JV with experience. Okay, so that doesn't just mean jumping into bed with anyone that's got property. It means find someone that's done this sort of thing before with mortgage experience and go to them and say, look, I've got this deal, I've got the deposit available, and I'm only looking for 70% loan to value. For example, you know, with the experience, you could easily push to 75 or even 80 if you wanted to. But JV with that experience and piggyback off the experience that they've got, okay? It'll open the door to a lot more lenders, and depending on which entity you're buying it in, will also mean it works out a lot cheaper, okay? You can get better rates, better products. Okay, what I mean by that is more on the bridging side of things, okay? Rather than, you know, it's different to rates, okay? Makes the application easier and means you can push loan to value. Okay, so it's just a bit of guidance there. As I say, a lot of that, especially around the loan to value, I'm not saying you can't get 75%. It's not true. You can get 75%, but hopefully these are a few pointers to think about before you consider buying your first buy to let, and hopefully make your application process a lot easier for you guys. Cheers.